And the next trainer that we have coming up, I was told several times, you've got to have her on the podcast. You've got to do these things. She does all this fantastic stuff with the minor league baseball. And I think it's great to really adopt this. Even if you are at the major leagues and you're at the NFL, or if you're at college, you can adopt some of the best practices that Amy Venuto has. And what I will say about Amy is, if there's one person that really, has the argument down for not giving away tickets or not, selling them below price point, she actually worked in Las Vegas. And if there's any place where it's a comp city, it's probably Las Vegas or Phoenix, but really Las Vegas. So if you can actually sell in Las Vegas, you really have my respect. And Amy Venuto does all of that. And look, she's even using the easel. So this is great. Amy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. That was very nice. And I got a chance to Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good. Okay, first we're good. I might mess this up at the beginning. I have a goal. My goal, I currently train and consult for teams. I used to work for Mandalay Sports Entertainment, and I also worked for Ripken Baseball for a number of years. My goal is that I'm going to be so good at training and consulting that I'm going to remove all no's, okay? That you hire me and all no's are gone, okay? Now, I don't have a backup plan, so I will meet this goal someday. So my target and what I'm working on today is going full menu, okay? And so I put these pictures up because, first of all, I love swag. I love sales swag, and that's Clemson University. I love their energy and their power. And then I put up Brazilian steakhouses because we have a lot of men in here right now. And I'm sorry, but when I think of men, I think of buffets, okay? I think men love buffets, okay? So I think of, and Ron, you like meat. We already heard that, right? Okay, so I think of buffets, and then I thought of Brazilian steakhouses, right? And so you go to the Brazilian steakhouse, and isn't that full menu marketing? You can have any meat you want. Now, I want the filet wrapped in bacon, okay? And then I got that salad bar. I don't even need to have the meat, okay? I can just go to the salad bar. But one of the problems with full menu marketing is that it can be analysis paralysis, right? Like it can be a little bit sometimes too much. How much shrimp do I get? Is my plate big enough for all these shrimp, okay? What can I do? And so you gotta kind of guide it according to what you need and what you want. So to me, I don't care if you're silos and I don't care if you're full menu. My job is to work around you. When I go in as a consultant, I believe this very strongly, that you don't fix what isn't broken. It is not the way I want it to be. It's the way you do it, and I have to enhance it. So I have teams that I work with that are silos, and I have teams that I work with that are full menu, okay? But my topic is full menu, and I was raised in Mandalay, so they're a little bit more silo-driven. So that's what I started with. But if I had a preference, sure, I would go for full menu. Troy's out of the room for a second, but I put a couple of notes up first. He deserves a round of applause. So when he comes back in, can you give me a sign on that? Okay, and we'll make sure we give him a big round of applause. I also have to say this too, that what I love the fact that all these tenants are so cross. There are things that Justin, right? Awesome speech, okay? And there are things that you said that I want to tag on too. And there's and Brett earlier, there's so many similarities with what everybody's saying. And I think that's very important that if I'm sitting in the room, that I'm grasping off of this and finding the key themes that are occurring in everybody's speech. So a couple questions, first of all, and then we'll hit a couple other topics later on. Who in this room, raise your hand if you are a manager? I know this was asked earlier, but I just want to see a raise of hands. Okay, and how many are sales reps? Okay, fantastic. All right, raise your hand now if you are true full menu marketing, meaning you can sell any product within your team. Okay, raise your hand. There's gonna be another question after this. Raise your hand if you're total silos, meaning you just do season seats, or you just do groups, or you just do suites, or you just do sponsorships. Okay, raise your hand if you're a blend. Okay, I actually figured that would be the majority. Okay, good. For those of you that are just silos or have a preference for that, can anybody tell me some of the reasons that you like just silos? No? Okay, we'll get into a couple reasons because there's some value to this. For those of you that, so let's go silos first, okay? So the question becomes, do we silo or do we go full menu? And again, I'm going to say this. If you're not broken, don't fix it. There's zero reason to fix what isn't broken. What I will say, though, is embrace the brokenness. When you're broken, that's when you get creative. That's when you try new things. That's when you get a little crazy in trying a different system. And there are people out there that know different systems. So don't be afraid of being broken. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I want to talk about the value of silos. Again, this is where I was raised. You do ensure that all inventory is being focused on. Here's a problem with full menu. The salesperson is going to gravitate to what they think is sexy. And sexy is going to either be dollars, right? Okay, what's going to bring me then the most money, what's going to help me hit my goal quickly, okay? I have a team that I work with right now, and they didn't actually go to what was sexy. They're full menu, but the sales staff is feeling the pressure of getting the numbers in today. And so they went to what was simple. Instead of going after groups, which was going to be a bigger sale for them, they were going for the instantaneous hit, selling the Flexbook, okay? At a time that they didn't need to do that. So sometimes this helps you because you're making sure that you're hitting all your revenue streams. And there's a reason for every product, and selling every product is going to hit one whole goal. It's also good for the overthinker. You probably have people on your staff that are overthinkers. You know, those ones that analyze everything, that think about it all the time. They almost need silos, okay? There's a great sales rep that I work with that I said to him, he's new. I said, keep it simple. Sell this product, okay? You need to get really good at selling this product before you go into something else because he overthinks it so much. It's also good for the not a thinker, okay? You probably have people on your staff that don't think very well, okay? They're great for silos, and I don't mean that in a wrong way. They might be incredibly talented salespeople, they just don't think, okay? Also, silos are great for the potential of staff mobility. You can really take your staff and you can show progressive growth, right? They can go from selling inside sales to selling seasons, to selling groups, to selling sponsorships, and you have a path that is showing upward mobility, and there's nothing wrong with that because salespeople want to see their career grow. And then there's another one. It's easier to perfect the sales presentation, and there's nothing wrong with that either, right? Okay, so there's some value to silos. So the people that do this, there's nothing wrong with this, and even a blend. But again, my topic today is full menu marketing. So that's where I want to talk about this. So those that are full menu, anybody want to tell me some of the advantages and why you choose to go full menu? You have a really quiet, oh yes, Andrew, thank you. I work with him a lot, so I planted him. No, I'm just teasing. Go ahead. It's awesome, absolutely. And his staff does a great job with that. Yes, and your name? Okay, hi. Building a relationship with the customer, absolutely, yes. Right solution for your client's needs. Those are all great answers. Anybody else? And I just got to say this, solution. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? Okay, that's how we're going to remove all no's. Anybody else? All those answers are great. Round of applause. Oh, yes, wait, before we go, round of applause, yes.
Volume. You have everything focused on SSBC when it's appropriate, or?
Volume. Focus on FSCs when it's appropriate, groups when it's appropriate. Awesome. Round of applause for these guys, okay? I'm going to add to a couple of these, okay? Oh, by the way, there's my silos, right? Like, aren't they pretty? Okay, don't they look so barren? Okay, full menu value. I'm having problems with the clicker. Okay, multi-dimensional sales staff, more creativity and flexibility, okay? I think when a salesperson is locked into one product and one product alone, it gets very redundant, very boring. It allows them creativity, allows them flexibility, allows them to have fun. The ability to better maximize all revenue streams. The ability, because in salespeople, when we're a little bit more silo-driven, right, We sit there and we're like, oh God, we got to fit that square into the round hole. And I sell seasons. Oh my God, sponsorships. Anybody sell sponsorships in here? Okay, good. I did it too. And I did something, when I was in ticket sales, I used to get so pissed at sponsorships. Are you telling me that when that client says no, that you can't turn them into a 200-person group outing? We should be sold out with sponsors that said no that come in as groups, okay? I get so mad. Then I went to sponsorships and I did the same damn thing, okay? And I was dirty too, okay? So these are things though that if I'm full menu, I am hitting all revenue streams and I'm maximizing all of those. Cross-selling, and I'm going to actually get into this because it is the most underutilized aspect of sales in sports. Okay, people talk about it, they should be doing it, and people don't do it. So we're going to talk about that. And full menu allows you to cross-sell. And then it also allows you to improve usage and retention rates, and you've probably heard this. Why do we sell so many mini plans? Because in baseball, in minor league baseball, 70 home games is a radical lifestyle change for a residential customer. It doesn't fit them, okay? You've got to find what fits your customer. I love the group objection. We don't have enough people in our company to do a group outing. They're perfect for a suite. How many clients do they have? How many key prospects do they have? You ask these questions to get them in. And it's better for the customer, as my friend over here said. It's better for the customer, right? We're thinking about what the customer wants. So my example, and it's a little hard to see this, but you know those menus, if we talk full menu, they're complicated. I go to a diner, it's called Manella's, it's up in Pennsylvania, and they have like 16 pages, I swear, on their menu. Okay, I sit down to eat my food and I don't know what to order, so I make it very simple. Next time I go there, I'm ordering off of page 3. That's it, okay? I'll just look at page 3 and I'll order. Because see, this is the problem with full menu. There's too many choices sometimes. And I'm going to get into tying in what some other people said and how to guide the process and how to streamline it. Does anybody have questions before we continue? Yes, Ron. I would say that the majority of people in this room probably think full menu is seasons, groups, skyboxes, and like flex plans or those types of things if they have that. I have teams that I work with that they sell sponsorships to, okay? And I've seen it successfully. It can be a challenge though because that's where it comes back to maybe like the staff focusing too much on what's sexy, right? Like when I have where it's true full menu and it's sponsorships too, it gets a little complicated because I'll have salespeople that want the quick hit and selling sponsorships. I love tickets. I love tickets the most. No offense, sponsorship people. It's my favorite, okay? But there are people that would rather sell sponsorships because it seems cooler to tell their friends, right? So it's a blend. Does that help answer?
Yeah, just being a young sales rep, for instance, is he or she to be comfortable pitching a $200,000 suite deal? I mean, you really want that person within your organization communicating with the decision maker and asking for that big of a sale, and he or she may not be comfortable.
My answer is no. Okay, if I were to truly set it up, but again, like there are teams that I work with that have that premise and that concept, and it's going to require. And we're going to get into this later, so I'm jumping ahead, but I don't mind that. Okay, I like interaction. I like these questions and going into different directions. Product knowledge is the key, right? And if you're going to do full menu, whatever version of full menu that you're going to do, your sales staff needs to have the most excellent product knowledge. Period. Okay, Disney, and this is more of a customer service type of training, but Disney does not allow their employees to say the words, "I don't know." And I agree. And there's a radio announcer, believe it or not, that I worked with at one of the teams I work with, and he said, nothing drives him crazier than salespeople that say, "I don't know." You should know everything. I mean, seriously, my teams I work with, I want them to know what the cut of the grass is on the field, because the field is a masterpiece, right? Like there should be no reason not to know this. And if you're going to be entrenched and invested in your career, you know everything, because as soon as the words "I don't know" come out of your mouth, it's an instantaneous hit to your credibility. Instantaneous, right? So like, let's say I'm a sales rep and I don't sell sponsorships. I still need to know where they start at. I still need to know what their value is. Because what if I have a customer that says, I want an outfield sign. And I say, I don't know. I gotta find my friend Bill, and Bill's gonna help you out with that. All you're saying is, I have no idea what goes on in my own company. And going back with who said, was it you, be the expert, right? Brett said that. You're the expert. You don't need Bill. Now, you don't sell them something you don't know, right? But you need to have a knowledge, a working knowledge of your franchise. Does that help? Any other questions? Okay, yes. Oh, Troy's in here. Round of applause for Troy and the people that work with him. Very hard work to put on a conference, and I think this is awesome for the first time, so thank you. Okay, good. Okay, going full menu. There are pitfalls that you have to avoid. And I'm going to say that the first one you need to avoid is the show up, throw up, and split. Oh, we want you to show up, okay? But then here's where it's bad on full menu. Then you throw up all your information. This is all the things that we have. These are all the products that we have. You can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, and you just take your time picking, okay? And you throw up all the information, then you say, bye-bye, and you split, okay? That's what you need to avoid. And if you are not closing, by the way, if you ever go into a period where you're not closing, this is the first thing you look at. Am I showing up, throwing up all my information, and splitting? So that's a pitfall to avoid. Here's another one, not listening. Oh, right? We all know this in sales. And Ken pointed this out on his slide earlier, but you've got to listen. You want to be great at full menu marketing. You're going to become so doggone good at listening. I believe that when you're learning your presentation, it goes in 3 stages. The first stage is learning what you're saying, okay? Becoming so good at learning what you're saying. Stage 2 is learning how you're delivering it. You're so good at what you're doing that now you're working on the how. And then stage 3 is kumbaya land, where you're so damn good at, oh, I cussed, by the way, sorry, okay. You're so good at what you say and how you say it that now you're learning on how they're receiving it. And that's the body language, the cues, right? Like I had this woman who was in sales. She had a 50% close rate, okay? It's amazing. 50% on new sales. She was so good. Her name was Heather. And I said to Heather, I go, what are you doing out there? And Heather said, you know, it's very simple. I simply listen. I watch what they're doing, and I look for a change in their body position. I listen to if they have a question on something, and I assume that that's the hot button. And I keep hammering home that point until they tell me that's not it. That's beautiful sales. Pitfall 3, poor zoning on full menu marketing. Oh my God, this is managerial, right? You can have the best trained full menu marketing staff, but if you have poor zoning and you're allowing your mini plan to sit in some of your best seat inventory, even if they're valuing it at that game rate, that's wrong, okay? You still have to value the customer who is spending more. You can have all the plans in the world, but you have to have proper zoning. We all see what happens. Who's from the South? Anybody? No? Okay, where are you from? Texas? Okay, you have good zoning. Anybody from like the Carolinas? No? Yeah? Okay, I love the Carolinas, and I spend a ton of time down there, and I'd love to move down there, okay? But when I go down there, there isn't the greatest zoning, and you'll have like sometimes a trailer park sitting next to a great commercial development, okay? That's poor planning. No offense, I love the Carolinas, okay? All right, it's not her fault, okay? But in this case, like when you have improper zoning, it doesn't work. So if you have your mini plan sitting next to your season C holder, your full season C holder does not feel value. Improper pricing, same thing. Too many teams are often looking for that quick hit. Oh shit, excuse my language, okay? Revenues are down, we gotta do something to drive it. We got to drive these revenues right now. Let's come up with this awesome offer. And it's a better offer than what you had out there before. Huge mistake to full menu marketing. And here's another one, improper sales incentives or rewards. Okay? If you're rewarding the wrong thing, you're going to have a challenge with making full menu marketing work. So like in the case, and I'm going to use this more in ticketing. Let's say you got a sales rep that sells suites and seasons and groups. It's cooler to sell suites, right? It's like, ooh, I sell luxury suites, right? I got it going on. But if you don't have incentives to build up that base, I had a boss that I worked for 12 years. And I worked for a team that sold out every single game for every single season for 10 straight years. And with that team, we sold suites last, okay? It was great revenue, but we sold them last. Because he said, when you're in the suites and you're looking down and it's not a full bowl down there, you're like, why am I the idiot paying so much money for something that no one else wants, right? Okay? So you have to incentivize your staff because the sexiness is the suites. You have to incentivize them to sell in the bowl. So those are some of the pitfalls. Anybody want to add any other pitfalls that they've seen from full menu? Okay, I'm just checking my phone to check the time because, whew, shit. Okay, there it goes again, okay. They get the one woman up here and she's the one who cusses all the time, okay. All right, so we talked about pitfalls. For those that do full menu, what are ways that you've done to entrench full menu? Does anybody have any? Okay, I'll throw you a couple and then maybe we can add some later. Solutions-based selling, solutions-based selling. Oh wait, solutions-based selling, okay? You want to entrench? Yes, you get another round of applause, okay? Another one for this guy, what's his name? Brandon, okay, good. Round of applause, solutions-based selling, right, okay? I one time worked with a team and they said, we heard solutions-based selling is dead. I almost died, okay? I almost keeled over and died. You have to find what it is that ails them and prescribe the cure. And how you do that, it's beautiful. You ask questions, right? Those that are managers, I have a great way to get a new salesperson on board. It starts with a powerful intro so that they know exactly what they're saying as soon as they get the person on the phone. And then they go into questions. And that eases all the anxiety of sales, right? None of you guys have anxiety in sales or you wouldn't be here. But your new people do. So I need to ask you a couple questions. I need to ask you guys, are there questions that you guys use that you guys feel are golden to help get a sale? Anybody? Okay, I'll throw a couple. How important is hospitality to you? Ask that question, especially when we're talking in suites. I worked with Churchill Downs in the Kentucky Derby, and they taught me something. They taught me that hospitality is critical. How did they separate themselves from Super Bowl? How did they separate themselves from World Cup, from the Olympics? It's hospitality. It's giving things that somebody can't get somewhere else. And if I'm selling suites, I have got to be asking that question in my presentation because it's critical. You have to know what questions are you using. You've got to say, where have you done group outings before? Where have you gone to entertain your clients before? These are questions that you ask that give them an idea, give you an idea on what you can present to them. And I have a golden question. And I can't sell without this question, okay? My golden question is this: what's your number one goal in the upcoming year? I don't sell without that. You see, when I'm selling to a company and I say, what's your number one goal in the upcoming year? And they say, bring in new business. Now I know what I'm doing with full menu. I'm not selling them groups for their employees because their number one goal is to bring in new business. I sell suites. I sell maybe sponsorship. Or I maybe sell season seats as a way to entertain their clients. What if they say, oh my gosh, we have so much employee turnover. Our number one goal is to keep our employees. What am I selling them? Groups. See, it's a beautiful question. So I only work with one university, but I have season seats. My daughter goes to Villanova, and I have season seats. I'm a football season seat holder. I think there's only 5 of us in Villanova. Okay, all right. But I know how to sell seats. Who's in college sports? Here. Okay, here you go. You ready? I know how to sell season seats for football. Okay? I would grab the freshman parent list within a 2-hour radius of that school. And I would call mommy and daddy of these freshmen who are going through life changes. And I'll say, you know what? You don't want to be a helicopter parent, right? You want to be there so that you can see your child 8 times as they're going through this incredible transition and get to know them and take them out to dinner. And who knows, maybe your child will start, well, they don't think they're a child, will start sitting with you at a game. Maybe your child is going to actually start going on road trips with you. Woo, yay, okay, right? And I would sell season seats for football left and right. And it's about knowing what their number one goal is. If I'm talking to a nonprofit, I worked with Humane Society one time with a team down in Florida, which out of English worked with me down there. But I worked with Humane Society, and we were throwing down nonprofits, fundraising. They said, we don't need your fundraiser. We asked them, what's your number one goal? They said, we don't need your fundraiser. We do galas, and we generate a lot more money than your $4 per ticket's going to give us, right? Okay. So I said, what's your number one goal? They said, we need to get more dog food. I'm like, oh, can't help you there. Okay. So I found out what their number 2 goal is. This is full menu marketing. What's your number one goal? Now, I don't ask that to a residential. I don't say, hey, George, what's your family's number one goal for the upcoming year? Right? Okay. But I will say, for your family, what major changes, thank you, are you going through? When I ask the golden question, I hear angels sing. It's like, ah. Okay, try it. Here's another thing on entrenching. I am the guru. And somebody else, Kendall was talking about this, and he's right. I actually started an events department with one of my teams, one of my companies that I work for, and we sold a ton of weddings. And weddings are not an outbound sale. Okay, you don't randomly call up somebody and say, hey, you getting married this year? Right? Okay, that doesn't happen. So we had to do a lot of marketing to attract on the wedding, okay? What I discovered is that you got to become the expert, like Brett was saying earlier. So we talked about what color schemes are the best, how to best plan your wedding. You know who's a great salesperson? It's going to make you sick. Martha Stewart. Okay, that's sickening. We know she's not ethical, okay? But she's an amazing salesperson because she's the guru on home entertainment and decor. So that when I go out and I see Martha Stewart sheets on sale, I have to have them. Okay, and here's another great salesperson, Julie from the Love Boat. She is amazing at full menu marketing because she is a tour guide. I use questions and I get them, I fish them in, and then I guide them to the process. Okay, that's what I have to do, and I have to streamline that along. Now, I'm short on time. I wanted to get to cross-selling, but I want to hit a couple other things real quickly. And I'm going to be talking cross-selling tomorrow. There's my hook for you guys, okay? So I think it's tomorrow, so hit me up on this one. Let's talk about questions again for a second. Every question needs a purpose. I had a sales rep one time, same team that he used to work with. This guy can sell. Same team that I used to work with in Florida. I had this woman, gosh, she was not a thinker, okay? Sorry, she just wasn't, all right? And she got into this whole thing. I love these questions. The customer's so warm and fuzzy with me. I love these. And she went ice cold. She was asking questions, but she wasn't selling. And one of her colleagues, who was a supervisor, said to me, he goes, I think she's asking too many questions. And that's indeed what she was doing. She was asking so many questions that she wasn't taking the time to close. And one thing I have to tell you, when you do your questions, every question needs a purpose towards closing, okay? That's what has to happen. All right, 2 other things. In cross-selling, just a little tip on sales. The best line in the world, write this down, other companies have said. Other companies have said. Okay, see, I never say to somebody, when I'm talking to freshman parents, okay, I'm not going to sit there and say, this is what you should do as a parent, because I'm not a parent and I know what you should do, okay, right? You can't say it that way. Or you can't tell a CEO, when you haven't been a CEO, this is what you should do. 2 minutes. What you need to say is you need to say, other CEOs have said, this is how they utilize us. Other freshman parents have said, this is how they utilize us. That's how you can say anything you damn well want to and get away with it, okay? Last but not least, going on Justin's speech earlier, nothing pisses me off more than people who don't treat their ticket salespeople as number one, okay? So this is totally not off my presentation, but I think it's so important to say this. Your ticket salespeople, if they do their job right, will have more reaches to people in your community than anybody else in your franchise, more than PR, more than anybody, if they do their job right. If they are unhappy and they are grumpy and they feel underappreciated, that's who's reaching out to your customer base as their first connect. treat them as number one and find a way to do it, even if they're millennials and they piss you off, okay? All right, that's all I have. Thank you guys very much, and I have shit all over.